Alaska is bigger than Texas, California, and Montana combined. Yet fewer than 740,000 people live here, and thousands are quietly leaving each year. Why? Because Alaska doesn't just challenge you, it dares you to survive. We're talking winters so dark and cold, your eyelashes can freeze shut. Towns where food gets flown in by plane if the weather allows. And prices so high, a gallon of milk can cost $11. But it's not just about the cold. It's about isolation, danger, and a vanishing way of life. So today, we're going deep into the 5 real reasons people are leaving America's wildest state and why some will never, ever return. Reason number 1. Darkness that devours your mind. Alaska's winters are more than cold. They're emotionally brutal. In Barrow, the sun disappears for 65 days straight, 65 nights in a row. Even in Anchorage, the biggest city, daylight can shrink to less than 5 hours a day by December. That's not just inconvenient, it messes with your circadian rhythm, your mood, even your sanity. Seasonal affective disorder, SAD, is common here. Depression, anxiety, and sleep problems surge during the dark months. People literally buy sun lamps just to feel alive. And if that wasn't enough, the cold is no joke either. In places like Fairbanks, winter temps can hit -40°F before wind chill. That's cold enough to crack your windshield, freeze your fuel lines, or give you frostbite in minutes. Even simple tasks like walking the dog or starting your car become survival routines. And yet, some Alaskans say they've learned to love the darkness. They read more, reflect more, lean into solitude. But for many newcomers, it's too much, too fast. And every winter, more of them quietly pack up and go. Because in Alaska, winter isn't just a season. It's a mental battle you have to win every single year. Reason number 2. Isolation that's hard to imagine. Alaska isn't just far away, it's a world of its own. Most towns here? You can't even drive to them. Over 80% of Alaskan communities have no road access. They rely on small planes, boats, or snowmobiles. And if weather's bad, you're grounded. Supplies are delayed. Medical emergencies? You wait. Some villages are hundreds of miles from the nearest full-service hospital. Think about that. A simple broken leg could become a multi-day crisis. Even in the more connected parts of Alaska, you're often hours from the next town. Cell service is spotty. Internet is slow or non-existent in rural areas. Amazon Prime? Not quite the same up here. But the real isolation goes beyond geography. It's the feeling that you're on your own. If your power goes out, if you get stuck in a snowstorm, if a bear shows up on your porch, it's your problem. No one's coming fast. And for many, that's terrifying. But for others, that's the point. It's freedom, it's self-reliance, it's the Alaskan way. Still, make no mistake, this isn't the kind of quiet solitude you find in a cabin weekend. This is existential isolation, and it takes a special kind of person to handle it long-term. Reason number 3. The cost of living in the middle of nowhere. People imagine Alaska as wild and free, but freedom isn't cheap. Groceries in rural Alaska can cost 2 to 3 times what you'd pay in the lower 48. A gallon of milk, $8 to $10. A loaf of bread, up to $6. Why? Because almost everything is flown in or barged in, and fuel prices here are some of the highest in the nation. And speaking of fuel, filling your tank in remote areas can cost over $6 per gallon if there's even a gas station within 100 miles. Heating costs are brutal. With sub-zero winters lasting 6+ months, many Alaskans rely on heating oil or wood stoves. That means spending $3,000 to $6,000 a year just to stay warm. And forget natural gas. In much of Alaska, it's not even an option. Now layer on housing. Yes, land can be cheap, but building on it? That's a different story. Materials are expensive, labor is limited, and harsh weather slows everything down. Even modest homes can cost a fortune to maintain. Roofs must be reinforced for snow loads, plumbing must be insulated to prevent freezing, and everything needs backup power. Add it up, and Alaska isn't just wild, it's wildly expensive. And while the state once paid residents through the oil dividend, that check has shrunk significantly, even as costs keep rising. So yes, you get unmatched beauty and independence, but you pay in dollars, effort, and grit. Reason number 4, healthcare that's hours or days away. When you're sick in Alaska, the hardest part might not be getting better, it's getting to care in the first place. In many rural towns and native villages, there's no hospital, sometimes not even a doctor, just a small clinic, often run by a traveling nurse, open a few hours a week. If you need surgery, specialized treatment, or emergency care, your next stop is often an airlift. And that's not an exaggeration. In 2024 alone, over 3,000 medevac flights were dispatched in Alaska. Each one can cost $25,000 or more, even with insurance. Pregnant? High risk? Many Alaskan women have to fly to Anchorage weeks before their due date just to be near a hospital. That means leaving family, home, and work behind, just in case something goes wrong. Dental care, eye care, physical therapy, often a luxury. People delay basic care simply because it's too expensive, too far, or too unpredictable to reach. In an emergency, time is everything, but in Alaska, help might be 6 hours away on a good day. It's not just about access, it's about peace of mind, and in Alaska, even that comes at a cost. Reason number 5, nature's playground, but it plays rough. Alaska's wilderness is legendary, towering peaks, wild rivers, and forests that stretch beyond the horizon. But living inside that postcard? It's not for the faint of heart. Every year, residents face the raw power of nature. Moose blocking driveways, bears rummaging through garbage, and even wolves spotted near school bus stops are not rare, they're routine. And that's just the wildlife. Alaska experiences more earthquakes than the rest of the U.S. combined. In fact, the state has over 1,000 quakes a month, some strong enough to shake homes and highways. And don't forget volcanoes. Yes, 130 potentially active ones, including some dangerously close to towns and air traffic routes. In summer, raging wildfires can swallow thousands of acres. In winter, avalanches can cut off entire communities. And spring? That's flood season, when melting snow and ice jams turn rivers into destruction zones. Even basic outdoor chores, chopping firewood, clearing snow, hauling supplies, can lead to injuries. Every errand feels like an expedition. And if you're not prepared, Alaska will teach you the hard way. The state's beauty comes with a price, constant vigilance. Because in Alaska, Mother Nature doesn't just surround you, she runs the show. So, why do people still live here? After all the cold, the cost, the chaos, you'd think nobody would stay. But here's the twist. For some, Alaska is freedom in its rawest form. It's one of the last places in America where you can truly disappear, where you don't just survive, you prove something to yourself every day. There's no traffic, no noise, no constant hustle. Just vast skies, silence, and a deep connection to the land. Yes, it's harsh, but for many, that harshness is the point. It forges resilience, pride, and a deep bond with a place most people will never understand. So, while millions avoid it, a few thousand wouldn't live anywhere else. So now you've seen it, the wild, the wonder, and the warning signs. Would you make it through an Alaskan winter? Could you trade comfort for self-reliance? Comment below what part of Alaska surprised you the most, and where do you think is the toughest place to live in America? If you enjoyed this deep dive, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more weekly videos on the raw truth about U.S. states, migration trends, and real-life geography stories.